Never before seen amateur footage captures the impact of the devastating tsunami that hit Japan 1 year ago.
I looked in my rearview mirror and saw an even larger wave than the one in front of me.
As it rose higher, you could see people who weren't able to escape.
I felt the terrible power of nature. I was not expecting that nature could be this dreadful.
Filmed by eyewitnesses and amateur photographers, caught up in the disaster unfolding around them.
It happened really fast. I didn't expect the water to come all the way to where I was. You weren't just running, you were running for your life.
Japans Tsunami, caught on camera.
I kept saying in my head, please stop now, please.
At 2:46 p.m. on March 11, 2011, a massive earthquake struck the east coast of Japan.
I ran outside but was unable to stay standing up because the ground was shaking so much. I got down on my hands and knees and waited for it to pass. This earthquake was extremely long, so I thought a tsunami would come.
The quake triggered the largest tsunami in Japan's history. Oh. 20,000 people died or remain missing. This unique record was filmed by survivors in 6 devastated towns. This is their story, told in their own words, videos, and photos.
We wake up and see the sea. We talk about the sea, if it's quiet or if it has waves, as we've always done together. When you live by the sea, you depend on it, and it's part of your life.
My house was located just in front of the sea. I lived there for 40 years. The sea was like our great mother. It was like our treasure. We have always received blessings from the sea. The Chile earthquake happened the year before I was born. My father decided they should evacuate. While they were evacuating, they got overtaken by the tsunami, and I lost my older sister. She was 9. My sister died. My mother had given birth to her relatively late in life, but she said she wanted one more child. So the next year, I was born. My whole life I've been told I was born because my sister died in a tsunami.
震があった時は
When the earthquake hit, I had left my house and was driving.
して、運転中
So I wasn't sure if it was an earthquake or just a car.
ちょっと車がガタガタ揺れてたんで、凸凹なのか車
But when I saw the way people were moving and the building shaking,
建物
I knew it was an
だ
earthquake.
と思いました。
All of a sudden, the room started shaking. I grabbed my computer so it wouldn't fall and waited for the shaking to stop. I thought for sure a tsunami was going to come. I started yelling at people in the office to run to safety as soon as possible.
よし、逃げろ逃げろ津波来る津波来る津波来ますね逃げなさいはいはい電気止めて逃げて
It was just an instantaneous decision I made to get the camera. I filmed inside the office, but because the shaking continued, I decided to go out and film there.
さあ津波来るから逃げなさい iPhone で早く逃げて
I started filming on my iPhone at 2:49 p.m.
9分からとりあえず
and by 2:55, I was on top of the hill, so it only took a few minutes.
ですから数分の間に移動が可能だったわけですけれども
When I got up there, the town didn't look any different than usual. It just looked like a normal, quiet town.
そのままだったんですけど
あ、車
I did look at the information being relayed to my car navigation system.
とかは見てたんですけれど、
But, well, I'm originally from an inland area,
津波
so I didn't have the common sense that there's a danger of a tsunami after an earthquake happens.
決できなかったですね。そうです
It
ね。
did look normal. What's it called? Mob psychology?
向かってるんで、あ、ここ
There were lots of people there, so it seemed like a safe place.
ここに津波が来る
It didn't seem like a tsunami was going to hit.
考えがあって行く人はいないと思うので、
I don't think anyone knew.
誰も分かんなかったですね。
While I was filming, I still didn't think about the tsunami. A fire truck was driving around the area, telling people to evacuate. The local people began to head for higher ground.
When I looked at the river, the water rose up so fast. It was like it was next to me. It all happened so quickly. The river flowing backwards, and the tsunami overflowing into the city.
海から直接来るのが街の中で交錯して
From the point where I saw the tsunami myself to the point where I got to the top and looked down at the town, it was completely different. There was so much water, it felt like it all happened in an instant. The sound of buildings crashing against each other, the sound of wooden structures crunching. There's just no way to say it. It's difficult to comprehend as a reality. Was it fear? It was like a film.
当に1時間とかその当時発生前までは
The people who had been calmly working just an hour earlier,
その場そこで生
the
活
people who lived here,
ことにがもう
in just seconds,
一瞬
all of that was gone.
全く違う姿に変わっていくっていうことに
現在、大津波警報が発令中です。沿岸住民は直ちに
I don't really remember the sounds as the water rose up, but I remember thinking how much I wish it would stop. There's nothing you could do but pray to God. We couldn't do anything in the face of such immense power. There was nothing to do but yell and scream. We couldn't contain ourselves.
止めてくれ止めてくれ止めてくれそしてまた
Then I saw people in cars trying to reverse away and getting washed down the street by the water. I saw terrible things like that.
何が防波堤だよほら何が防潮堤だよ
I was worried about my home, so I watched from some stone stairs nearby. It wasn't that I wanted to shoot a video, rather that I wanted to record the events. I never thought the tsunami would come to this point. Then I saw my house and car washed away. The neighborhood was rapidly engulfed. I couldn't believe it. It had only been 3 years since I finally managed to build my own home. It was surreal. I had never experienced this kind of shock. I don't know what to say. It's hard to describe, really.
Even though we saw the car passing by to warn us, we didn't think the tsunami would actually reach us because we lived quite far from the ocean and we were on a hill.
うちはそういう津波にまつわる
Because my family has a particular connection to tsunami. When this tsunami came, I decided I wanted to record it for posterity.
で階段の方
So I climbed the stairs halfway up the building and started taking photos.
でそこで撮影をしてた。
The first thing that got sucked up was my shed. I thought, it's just a shed, oh well. At least the house is okay. And just as I thought that, the house went with it. The things I was seeing were completely unimaginable.
When we started running, we assumed that we would be able to outrun it. But what happened was that the wave completely swallowed us up. I was desperate. Fortunately for me, soon after I was swallowed by the wave, a roof drifted towards me and went under my body, as if it was trying to pick me up. So I was on top of the roof, and the wave took me all the way to the high school. People who were by the school saw me and pulled me down.
Most of the residents were already at the emergency evacuation centers. I was on the fire truck and was directing people over the loudspeaker. Once the waves hit the bottom part of the levee, the water shot up the side very suddenly. I probably only had 5 seconds or so to get away. If I got on the truck 20 seconds later, I don't think I'd be here today. I knew my duty was to direct people to evacuate, but I didn't turn off the camera. I'm actually not really sure why I kept filming. We had a levee that was 5 meters tall that we thought could protect against a tsunami. We based all our evacuation areas and exercises on this assumption. As a firefighter, as the father of a child, I can never forgive the fact that I let children die. I let elderly die. I can never forget. We knew a tsunami was coming. We could feel it. It suddenly got really silent. It's hard to imagine such a sudden silence. It was like all sound had disappeared. I remember how ominous it was.
The tsunami came about 40 minutes after the earthquake. So I went around the fish market towards the riverbank and started filming on my mobile phone. The levee was about 3 meters high. I didn't think the tsunami would ever be big enough to come over that. So I kept filming. When I saw overturned boats coming towards me, I knew something wasn't right.
Everyone around was yelling, "Hurry up, run!" I was heading to the emergency staircase at the school. And I went and looked over, and I could see the water rising up over the bank.
I thought I might be in trouble here when the wave came over the levee. Still, I wasn't too worried because I thought it was only a little bit of water. But I was wrong, since quite a lot of water suddenly gushed over. I was on my bike, and I was heading towards the nearby high school.
You weren't just running, you were running for your life. Just as it spilled over, I began climbing the staircase. I kept climbing while filming behind me. It happened so quickly. If I'd gone any slower, I don't think I would have made it.
There was too much water, and I couldn't get to the school buildings. So I just climbed up a tree.
Watching from the school, you could see our homes in the distance, disappearing under the waves. As it rose higher, you could see people who weren't able to escape. You could see cars just get completely swallowed up by the waves. We were really afraid that the school would get washed away too. All we could do was watch. We were just shocked, speechless. It felt like the end. We had lost everything.
I felt the terrible power of nature. I was not expecting that nature could be this dreadful and that it could change so much. All we could do was watch what was happening. It was so horrible. I don't know what to say.
Everyone was looking in the direction of the helipier and screaming. For a second, I had forgotten that I had my camera with me, but I quickly remembered. I saw piles of cars being swallowed by the muddy water and coming towards us very quickly. It happened really fast. To be honest, I didn't expect the water to come all the way to where I was. There were many buildings between where the cars were and me, so I thought it would stop. It had never occurred to me that the tsunami would reach us.
It was a big road in the middle of town. You would never have realized it was actually a coastal area. You could say I was naive, but even just before it hit, there were police out directing traffic.
I could see the tsunami coming towards those cars stuck in traffic. I was really worried about them, but there was nothing I could do.
The first time I realized a tsunami was going to hit was when I actually saw it myself. I looked in my rearview mirror and saw an even larger wave than the one in front of me. I didn't know what to do. People were running out of their cars. I suppose that's about it. I think everyone was really panicking. It was incredibly quick. It probably took only 10 or 20 seconds from the moment when the water hit my car to the car being washed away.
後ろから津波ドンと当たった時に車がもう進み出してるんですよね。
幹線道路を走っていた車も今流されて先ほど流されていく様子が分かりました。海岸や川岸の付近は大変危険です。見る限りもう数キロの範囲で遡上していることが予想されます。ですから海から
There's video of a woman being washed away right before my eyes.
非常に危険なのですぐに水辺の方は避難してください。もし
多分死ぬかもしれない。
At that time, I thought I was going to die. It was kind of strange, but I didn't really feel panicky myself. I was quite calm. I thought, that's how things go, so I might as well do as much as I can. I decided just to sit inside and wait. I had it in my mind that I'd use the car to protect me as long as possible. The car would float to somewhere safe. Or, if that was impossible, when the opportunity came, I'd jump out and float to safety. I figured I'd have to swim for it. I remember it being completely dark and the water pouring in. And then I escaped from the car. But underwater, I couldn't figure out which way was up. It was probably just a minute, but I swam around there in the water, and I thought I was going to die. Finally, my face hit the surface, and I could breathe.
It felt like we were left with nothing and simply just powerless. That's the feelings I had in my chest. Right around 6 p.m., it started to snow. It was too cold to be outside. We had all gone back inside to the classrooms to warm up. Right around that time, we could see fire. It looked like all of Kesenuma was drenched in flames. Even from the top of the school, it seemed like we were right in front of it. It was like being in hell. We thought any people who had survived the tsunami would surely be killed by the flames instead. We thought it was the end of Kesenuma.
There were over 40 people from our neighborhood that lost their lives. It was also very hard to see women who had lost their children. They knew that their children were gone, but many just couldn't let go of hope that they were hiding somewhere in the mountains or another safe place. They spent their nights staying up waiting for their children to come back. That was really the toughest thing to watch.
There were about 40 emergency evacuation centers that got washed away. These evacuation centers were designated 50 years ago, when people assumed a tsunami on the scale of the one from the Chile earthquake would come. The tsunami this time was much larger than anyone expected. People probably thought they were safe there, but instead, they died.
The damage this time was really immense, but we have to stand back up and stand taller than we did before. We should be mentally prepared for that, living where we do. Building houses, building factories. Everyone knows doing this puts us at risk. A disaster is going to come, but when it does come, we have to rebuild. I feel very strongly about that.
We have nothing now. We receive relief supplies, but I don't have a sense of value for the things I really need. I do remember that I used to have this and that. But right now, I don't think about specific items I want. I just think about things I need day by day. Humans are strong. The instinct to live is strong. I think the city will undoubtedly recover. The shopping streets, the jobs people had, everyone is doing their best daily to ensure this happens. No one knows how long it will take, but I have no doubt that it will be an even better town than it was before.
I don't know what's going to happen to our town.
People are asking, so what happens now? People have some belongings now, things they've received from others, but there are still questions about work or how long we can all live in this temporary housing. When we leave the housing, what kind of lifestyle will we end up living? They say a place like Kesenuma will take at least 10 years to recover.
Most of the people of Kesenuma make their living through fishing. Their factories have been washed away, and only a few have been restored. It will take many years for all of them to be rebuilt.
They say that the elderly speak of the past, and youth speak of the future. That's what we have to embrace. Older people are always going on about the way things were, but we have to think about how to build a new Kesenuma. We have to focus on the new. I think, from now on, I must live having the weight of those lives on my shoulders. I have responsibility for that, and responsibility to build a new town here. Volunteers are helping us with the clearing up. But there's yet to be any kind of support or care for people's mental health. Amongst the people I know, there are probably a dozen or so experiencing trauma. This is where I was born and raised. When I go up to the mountains, I realize they don't suit me. Kesenuma is where I can see the Pacific. It's between the mountains and the sea. Yes, I'd really like to stay here. The sea is beautiful, but still scary. I don't know how much time I need till I don't feel scared.
Our town was covered with water and completely swallowed by the powerful tsunami. I honestly couldn't comprehend what it was. Was it retribution? Because God was angry at us for being too happy? In my mind, I kept trying to make sense of what happened.
My feelings about the sea haven't changed, and I think it's normally a very kind thing. It helps us, and it has helped us for years. I don't feel like I despise it. From this disaster, I think, perhaps it's us who made a mistake, living in an area vulnerable to tsunami. But at the same time, we need to think of ways to prevent this kind of thing from happening again.